Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Row of Gilead here, coming at you with some fresh new hotness in the mobile game world. We're going to be talking about DC Dark Legion today. This game was something I caught a little glimpse of a few months ago in the YouTube mobile game channels that I follow, and it looked like it had some promise. It was only being betaed on Apple, and I believe it's still being in beta tested, but we are on Android now. Finally, it just released just the other day, a couple days ago, on the 6th. Or was it the 5th? Either way, it was right after the holiday here in the United States, and now we have a new DC game to play around with. And I'm going to tell you, this game has a lot going on. I don't know if it's going to be the new hotness, but we're going to talk about this together. We're going to talk about all the pros and cons and kind of roll our way through it. And you guys can tell me what you think in the comments down below. So far, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm hooked. I'm wearing my Green Lantern, well, one of my many Green Lantern shirts. Point at the wrong side. One of my many Green Lantern shirts for the stream today because I'm a huge, huge DC fan. So let's get into it. Let's get talking about it. One of the things we're not going to be able to show you right now because I don't have any clips edited is the intro. Now, a lot of mobile games, especially hero collectors and base builders, they don't have a lot of content as far as, well, I shouldn't say that. They don't have a lot of visually stunning cutscenes or, well voice acted dialogue or, any of these little things that we tend to expect from like a AA, AAA title that we release on console or PC. This game, however, comes out the box with like 3 unique cinematics, some killer voice acting for a mobile game, and some good cel shaded graphics production value. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Don't get that twisted right now. We're going to talk about graphics a little later on. It has its ups and its downs. I will say that the intros, the cutscenes, the tutorial missions were all very well put together. They made things very easy to understand. And that's something we're going to come back to too, because there is a lot going on in this game, and it's going to be kind of difficult to understand. So let's jump in and talk about our first real topic, which is combat. We're going to go to the open world here. Now, this game is unique to me from everything I've seen among these type of mobile games, these hero collectors, because this is one of the few that has an open world city. Now, there's actually a whole bunch of these, and we might as well talk about it while we're here. This map is massive. This map is absolutely freaking huge. We've cleared 2 areas already. It's been out for about 2 days, and we don't have these at 100% yet. There's a lot going on in these different zones. The first area you're going to go to is Los Angeles. You're going to have all this area to explore and kind of dig around in. And there's all kinds of different missions for you to do. There's different opportunities to raid bases, which will give you experience and extra resources as you hold the base. You also have like just these random battles for people walking around, which is what we're going to get into here in a minute. You have some landmark locations that they show you. One of my biggest complaints with this open world is that though it's huge and there's lots to explore and there's actually like hidden chests and things in some of these quadrants, random missions that'll pop up like public random events. So it does feel full once you start walking around and exploring. Now this one is obviously less full because I've completed most of it. However, it's pretty bland everywhere else. So these buildings can use some windows. There's some things going on here, but like the landmarks are really well developed. So, I'd like to see maybe some more DC or just global landmarks. Like we're in San Francisco. Where's my Golden Gate Bridge, right? There's all kinds of interesting things that they could be doing. But you'll see, I'm sorry, we're in Los Angeles. This is San Francisco. And they did have the Golden Gate Bridge, so I take it back. They did put in some stuff, but it'd be nice to see more. It is cool to see kind of like in their mentality where Coast City falls in relation to these bigger cities too. Like, so they're going to have some, I don't want to say lore accurate stuff because the dang continent is shaped like a bat signal right now. Let's see if we can pull out a little bit. Yeah, the whole world is shaped like a bat signal with Gotham as the face. I mean, it's silly. It's just for their, their story kind of explains some of what's going on with this. And that's kind of what you're looking at. So let's go back to Coast City so we can actually fight some stuff. We can show off a little bit. And the combat in this game is interesting. You can put it on auto, and as long as you have a higher power than the enemy team, you are most likely going to win. However, it's actually pretty fun to play just to play it. So let's see if I can go beat this base. Oh, that's a tier 3 research lab. Let's see if we can make it happen. These ads that are walking around the open world map, these random encounters, aren't actually not usually too difficult, and they're pretty forgiving as far as they don't really spot you unless you let them spot you. Like, you have to kind of walk straight into them. I don't know if that's a win or a loss yet. It's nice because they don't really offer a lot. They're just there to kind of trip you up or make you go different routes to explore different ways, and they're usually pretty easy to beat. But again, we're not very far in the game. It's only been out on my device for a couple days, so that is out for judgment. They might get way harder as you progress, making them a little bit more of a challenge, and since we're just in the third area right now, they're just kind of meh. So let's get into this biomedical lab. This is one of those resource generation places that you're going to find in each of these zones, and those are going to generate resources for you as long as you have them captured. This is an error that happens quite often. It doesn't break the game. It's just weird that it holds on that screen for a long time. Now, this is your hero selection. You have different types of heroes, like Protector here for Wonder Woman. You want generally 2 of those early game. As you get some stronger units, these brawler-type characters can stand their own up in the front row, taking some hits. It's very easy to take off and sub in other players. Just click. You can either click them on the screen or down here. I am hoping that they add like a... Ooh, it wasn't working for me the other day, but you can just drag and scroll. So that's a pretty nice feature. You can just edit your layout before we start the fight. Yeah, let's get into it, gang. So... we can turn on the animations, which is what we're going to do real quick, so you guys can see how awesome these can be, if this isn't too easy. So you got different skills. Your leader can use a bunch of different skills. Your other characters can only use their like main class skill. So let's kill somebody with Green Arrow here. Let's just take him out.
I never miss a shot.
Alright, let's get to... I actually haven't seen Black Adam's yet, so we're going to watch this one live together in this video. First time for it. Oh, that was a little disappointing. No voice acting in that one. But, still has more voice acting than most of the other mobile games you've ever played. So, let's give them some credit where credit's due. But that's kind of what combat looks like. You're going to be assigning different... characters, their abilities in the leader slots based on the play style that you want, and then you're just going to kind of push forward with your other units, making sure that you have, tankier units in the front to absorb some of that damage, while your units hanging out in the back, put in the work. Now, I think that's a natural leeway into what our next topic is going to be, which are champions, your heroes in the game, heroes and villains. This game has a lot off rip, and most of this has been pretty accessible. Again, I've been playing this for about 2.5 days now. We've got Harley Quinn. You start with Green Arrow and you start with Wonder Woman. We've unlocked Black Adam. We've got Mira. We've got Batgirl. We've got Red Hood. We've got some police guys. We've got Raven, just unlocked her last night. I've got some DC villains: Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Penguin, and then you got some minions and stuff down here. Now, what else do you have? I'm really close to Hal Jordan, my boy Green Lantern. I'm very close, 10 shards away. I've been getting him at random. I believe there is an unlock method for him, but we're not there yet. So if that is a thing, I'll let you guys know in a separate video. Same thing, we've got Robin. We're almost there. We're about halfway to unlocking Red Robin. There's Lex Luthor, Cyborg, Batman, quite obviously. You get to test run Batman in the tutorial stuff too, and he's a lot of fun. I'm excited to get him unlocked. We got Bane, we've got Aquaman, who I'm actually excited to get unlocked. He's kicking my butt in some of the PvE events, so I've had to level up to beat Aquaman, so I'm excited to see his kit, see what he does. We have Constantine, Deathstroke. I should have let Constantine load in. Some of these load-in screens are pretty nice, too. You can tell they put some effort. They knew they were going lower res using the cell shading, so that they could probably capture a wider art style throughout the history of the game. So I don't hate that the graphics are a little basic, but it's the flair that makes a difference. Like, that's a decent pose. They got some good framework animations in there. They've got the flowing tassels. Hawk Girl. Ooh, she's not really animated at all. I wonder if she's not in the game yet. Nightwing. You know what I'm saying? They got these nice drop-in animations. We've got Martian Manhunter. We've got Scarecrow. We've got Shazam to go with Black Adam. Ooh, that was a cool entry. So you got some... sorry, I goofed there. Hang on. So hopefully you guys could hear that voice acting. Like, a lot of these characters have their own unique voices. and their own callouts. And then if they have dialogue in the campaign, oftentimes their dialogue is narrated as well. And I just think that that is an incredible level of detail to put into a mobile game. Outside of like things like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, there's not a lot out there that puts that level of detail into their voice acting, into their story modes. So even though the story right now is not really developing too much, it's pretty interesting. I will save the reveal for the first major villain for you guys to play the game. I think it's a really neat one. Some of my friends in the DC community have been telling me they're getting burned out with this guy in the last 5 to 10 years, but I've been out of it a little bit in the last decade or so. So it's exciting to see him for me. We got Flash, Superman, Joker, Zatanna, Arsenal, who doesn't look like he's animated or anything yet, so he's probably not in the game quite yet. Black Canary, Blue Beetle, Dr. Fate, who is in the game. Doesn't sound like he's got voice acting lines done yet. We got Captain Cold, we've got Deadshot, we've got Starfire, Riddler, Killer Croc, Two-Face, and a couple minions I haven't unlocked yet. So, I mean, huge initial cast of characters. Again, most of them seem like they're animated and in the game and ready to go. Seems like Teen Titans, the ones that aren't animated, might be the next ones that we're going to get access to. So there's a lot of stuff. You've got some Justice League, you got some Teen Titans, you have some solid villains. It's off to a good start as far as the champions are concerned. Now, let's go back in there for a second and talk about progression, because the progression systems in this game are a little complicated, and this will kind of dovetail us into the Batcave and the like real-time building elements of this game, which are the jury's still out for me on. I don't hate games like that, but I don't love them either. It's kind of like a Clash of Clans or a Fallout Shelters style. We hurry up and wait for some of that stuff, so that's probably where they're going to try to monetize on us. But again, so far I've spent $1. It was like an intro pack, maybe it was $2. I don't even remember. It was so cheap I didn't even think about it. And everything else hasn't really tickled my fancy. The only real offer right now is for Harley Quinn. I've been getting stuff to pull for heroes just by playing the game, so I'm not really worried about pulls. And again, clearly I've done pretty well on unlocking characters, considering they only really start you with Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, and a cop with a shield. So, we're making fair progress. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room, which is the star levels. For all my friends who've ever played a mobile hero collector before, star levels end up being very important, and it's where these games end up milking a lot of money from you. And this game is going to be no different. However, I kind of like what they're doing, and I'll show you why. So let's click on the stars here. You can see that we've got her at 5 stars, but it's got another star, like, hey, highlighted, look at me. If we look at the info, we can see how many star tiers there are and what they do as far as giving you stat boosts, buffing your skills and different attributes. So star level is not only based on going to help your stats, but it's also going to help your skill level so that your individual skills for these characters do more damage. Now you can see you're gonna have to grind out 5. Oh wait, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's the bonus of 5 blue stars. Then it goes to pink stars. There's your bonus for 5 pink stars. Then we're going to gold stars, and that's your bonus for 5 gold stars. So it doesn't just have like a Marvel Strike Force, yellow stars, red stars, diamonds, like 3-tier progression. Off the rip, this game is coming at you with 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers of star level. And then once you get out of blue tier or up higher into blue tier, it costs more shards. So this is where they're going to be hitting you for the money. But the nice thing about this is a lot of the characters are unlockable at low star levels and viable as long as you level them up and put the right gear and stuff on them. So that's going to be the constant grind, is going for shards. But most of these characters started at 3 or 4 white stars. And as you'll see, we've got a solid amount of them into like 5 white, 1 blue, which is not bad. So you take the good with the bad. I think this will be a cheaper cost of entry for a lot of players. So if you want to buy into your favorite superhero, like I'll probably end up buying into Green Lantern at some point, just because they're my favorite. So I will be willing and happy to spend a little bit of money on them. But it doesn't seem like you have to spend a lot to get them unlocked. It seems like you'll end up spending a lot to max them out if you want to do it quickly. But that's the mobile game curse, right? You got to pay for certain advantages, and that's unfortunately just the way it is. But if you want to get the heroes, they seem like they're going to be pretty easy to unlock, and that's a huge plus. A lot of games, newer heroes are hard to unlock. This one, it seems like they'll be easy and cheap to get unlocked, but then to get beyond that is going to be where you end up spending either a lot of time or a lot of money. Now, let's talk about the next thing. We got gear. The gear system is pretty simple, just 5 pieces. When you click on a piece of gear, it shows you exactly what stats it adds, and you have the ability to find gear from in the open world and missions, and you have the ability to craft gear in the Batcave, and that's something we're going to get to when we talk about the Batcave overview. So, gear is pretty standard. There are set bonuses when you have certain sets. Early game, you just want to kind of get your best characters with the best gear you have and get them out there so you can smash missions. As you progress and start hitting the level caps and you start having to grind a little bit more, that's when you really want to start taking the time and investing in making sure you have, gear that gives the right stats to the right type of character. And, right now I'm worried about HP, defense, and attack. Just basic. Get out there, beat them up. We're not worried about set effects. We're not worried about mental bonuses, things like that. Reduces spiritual damage taken. Right? We're not worried about all the nitpicky stuff just yet. When you get started, you just want to get out there, make sure they got the stats to get you through these early missions. I've lost one battle, and I have put minimal effort into a lot of our attacks. So just something to keep your eyes peeled for. And then lastly, you have these legacy gear pieces. Now, I'm still learning how these work myself, but as you can see, they have their own star levels. They have their own levels that allow them to enhance stats and abilities. And then they have these special bonuses. This one is the cold gun. It's called Chill Out. And then it gives you an extra 8% attack. Damage dealt to enemies with debuffs is increased by 8%. So clearly there's going to be some play with these and mixing and matching skills on your team so that you're able to combo these large, massive combos of damage and multi-attacks and stuff. But for now, as we're, growing into the game and still learning how all the systems work, they're just going to be another way to boost your stats and maybe give somebody a bonus based on their kit if you have, a matching piece of gear. And you'll see there's a lot. There's a lot of gear in here from various different heroes and villains that we're going to need to unlock to make the most effective use of some of our heroes and villains. So that's the final real progression system when it comes to the characters. And again, that's still being fleshed out. We don't know everything yet, but keep your eyes peeled for a video on that once we've got all the information. Now, we got coming to the final point of this video. We got a lot of currency, and we got a lot of Batcave. So let's go talk about the Batcave and what this does. Now, if you've ever played a game like Fallout Shelters, Archer Danger Phone, zombies, those zombie survival games, Clash of Clans, you're going to be very familiar with this build mechanic as far as the time and resource investment, okay? So first, the number one thing you have to worry about upgrading is going to be your war room. This is your main room that determines how effective and how high you can build up all your other stuff, and it's also going to be what unlocks deeper story content and more missions and objectives throughout the game. So this is always going to be your first priority. You should always be working on upgrading your war room. Now, if we click on it, you'll see I'm going from level 8 to level 9, and I got to upgrade my research laboratory to level 8. So we're going to go to the research lab. This tells me I need to get my Wayne Chips facility up to level 7. Now, this is a big bone of contention I have with this game. I very much wish that when I clicked on the war room, right? If I hit war room and I hit upgrade, I wish it would show me all the different steps right here. That I think is my number one criticism of the Batcave. We'll get it out of the way right now. I don't like hitting go and then go. Come on. There we go. And then finally getting here to realize, oh, I just had to click on this, right? I should have just been able to look at a list of things on my progression line that showed me what I needed to get my, my war room to the next level. So that being said, I think it's a pretty minor inconvenience, and I'm sure that that's something they can easily fix or patch in as the game grows. Again, we're pretty sure it's still in beta, so you want to make sure that we have mitigated expectations. I think for what we have right now, it's pretty incredible. So let's talk about upgrades. First of all, we have a butt tons of currency in this game. You have dollars, you have alloy, you have chips, you have energy, and that's not to be confused with energy for other things. That's just energy for building in your Batcave. So lots of currency, but really what you have to understand is it's all pretty common, and you're just trying to manage it in a way that helps you progress faster. This is just like every other hero collector, also a resource management game. So again, that's why we're saying you should always be looking at your war room, making sure that you are upgrading the things to get that upgraded ASAP. The other reason you want to make sure that thing is always upgrading ASAP is because this game starts to take hours and days as far as upgrades are concerned as you push further into the end game, and you want to make sure you're starting on these as quickly as possible. Now, of course, you can spend money to speed things up and add extra things, or you get these snazzy drones. Now, if I want this to take 6 minutes, I can use all 21 of my drones, and they will make it so it only takes a handful of minutes. And the drones come back over time. So if you come up here, this drone base refills our drone meter up top, and these again will help us, and the higher you level it up, the more drone bases you end up unlocking, the faster that's going to go. And this is another one of those click resource bait games, right? You got to come in here every few hours, click your resources to make sure they don't max out. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different things here to talk about, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because they will probably get their own dedicated videos. But I just wanted to kind of show off the Batcave, what it looks like, how diverse it is. And you can tell there's a lot going on. Most of the stuff here on the left is just your resources. The power plants give you the energy you need to upgrade your rooms. The drones are the drones. We just kind of talked about them. This is your, random pulls, the Genesis chamber. You can't upgrade it, but it's going to take you to where you can unlock your mother boxes. This is what unlocks your characters. It has its own unique progression system. They have a ascending rarity. Each one offers different resources and character shards. And then as you open more of them, they have ascribed values. So we got 800 alloy for those two. And that gives us 10 points to the streak up here. The streak, you collect the orb, or the mother box rather. You can tell we play Marvel Strike Force on the channel. And it gives you a new mother box to open. You can decode this mother box. And again, they stack. You can have as many of them as you want sitting around. We got more penguin shards. He's 3 away from being upgradable. We got some chips. And then it boosts the meter. And eventually you can get to a red one, which gives you very high chance of getting something cool. So that's all like resources here. Your steel, your money. Steel is the alloy, right? Biolab gives you stuff to upgrade and raise your character caps. You got Wayne chips. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember exactly what those do. And this is where I get to the problem of there's a lot of currencies in this game. There's a lot of currency. You have your dollars, you have your alloy, you have chips, which I think are actually used for upgrades and armor and other stuff like that. You have EXP, which is for upgrading your characters. You have cellular restorative, which is how you upgrade and raise the level caps on characters. And then there's a lot of stuff here they're not even showing. Like you have your mother boxes, you have your drones, you have all these different currencies. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. We're going to do a whole separate currency video because they get confusing. But the number one rule of thumb in any resource hero collector time management game, have a plan and execute. So we want to focus the war room. We want to make sure that we're following all the paths to make sure that we are pushing the war room as much as we can, as fast as we can, and making sure that everything we're doing builds to that. And we're going to talk more about that in another video, but that's the number one tip if I can give you right now. Always build into your war room. Always be building the war room. Let's finish up one last little note here. A lot of these rooms actually have a function. The armory is going to allow you to craft different gear sets. It's going to give you a random piece of gear based on this currency stuff down here and what blueprints you're looking for. So I got some green gloves there. We got a blue chest piece, so it does vary in rarity. It kind of shows you here the likelihood of getting each rarity. And then they do a good job of showing you what you're going to need level-wise for the room to get everything with the stats that you want. There's also the forge. And the forge we're going to use real quick here because I need to make sure I'm synthesizing some character unlock and upgrade materials. We want 10 of these. That's what we need for one upgrade. And then we're going to synthesize, and it's going to take us 28 minutes. And again, we can speed it up with drones and stuff if we want to. We can ask for help from our legion, or league rather. But again, this is one of those nice idle parts of the game where you can just set a bunch of this stuff to go in the background, and then we pick it up as we go. You also have the research laboratory, which gives you different upgrades for both combat and your passive base building here through the tech trees. You have construction, which helps with your resource management. And then you have combat, which gives you specified boosts to those certain perks that are universal across all your teams. And then it wouldn't be a MMO hero, a little bit of everything mobile game if they didn't have a legion and a league. So I run my own league in this game because it's brand new. It's bright as day. Couldn't tell I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. It started off at 40 members. We are up to 80 members now. We were able to raise our level cap. You get all these crazy resources from donations made throughout the day. The donations help build your technology, which helps you upgrade more of your resources and all these other crazy bonuses. So we're going to do a bunch of donations here. Once you donate enough, you can unlock and research this item. And this is a chance of a double contribution. So that's pretty nice. That's going to help us along. You have help, which is like I requested help while we were building something there. And there's a zero cost to this as far as I've noticed. And, the more people that donate, I think it's probably dollars if anything else because it doesn't really say right there. But the more people that donate, it speeds up your time. So having a large league, sorry I keep wanting to call it an alliance or a guild, but they're all the same concept. Having a large league allows you to build things faster as well. So that's another cool part about this game is you can tell they're going to try to hit your wallet on the waiting game. I don't want to wait. But if you have a really active league, it stands to reason that you're going to be able to, get things done a lot more efficiently and quickly, and that's going to help you out as well. And then the league has its own stores too. You'll notice that there's, shards for exclusive characters in here, high-end gears in here. And there's all kinds of stores and currencies in this game. And again, we're going to go through those in a different video. But for now, just understand, focus on building the base, kind of pay attention to, your favorite heroes and make sure you're pushing for them and doing the activities that get you what you want out of that. All right, friends, I believe that's everything. I think we've got everything taken care of and covered in the general sense. There's so many events, guys. There's so many different missions. There's so many different daily things to do. This game is chock full of activity. I have not been able to put it down these past 2 days, and I just want you guys to kind of give it a look-see if it's worth your time. I'm going to be making some creator content for this, different how-to videos on the different resources, the different character kits, the different gear, and how everything works. So keep your eyes on the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video. Give us a subscribe if you want to see more about this game as we release some content on it. And as always, friends, long days and pleasant nights, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.